On today's episode of the most magical game show on earth, I've got a category on Winnie the Pooh. If you do poorly in it, well then zero bothers given. Let's go. Over 3,600 clues have come and gone in the history of this show, but today I've got 26 brand new ones. Welcome into episode 136 of Disney Jeopardy. As always, I am your host, Bryan Perri, and thank you so much for joining moi. It's the middle of October, which means we are slowly approaching Halloween and the annual Halloween episode of Disney Jeopardy, where I'll present you with 5 spooky categories. To get ready for that episode, I'm including a scary category today. It is not the Winnie the Pooh category that I already alluded to, though if you haven't seen the 2011 film, then that might come back to haunt you, huh? Yeah, haunt. Halloween, haunt. Whatever. Let's just get on to the game and check out the 5 categories you'll be playing in this episode. Winning the Final Jeopardy wheel spin last week was 2011's Winnie the Pooh. That is your first category today. Your second category is what month is it? The third category you'll be playing, it's motorcycles. That is followed by your theme park category of overlays. And finally, what did the club DJ members choose? Well, of course, they chose scary scores. This is what you would call a first round knockout, or a sweep, if you will. Nearly 70% of the vote goes to scary scores. Hit the Sea is barely your runner-up, just 17%, but that does top Mountains at 15. And with that, it is now time for the easiest round of the game. Just give me a second here. Sorry, just beating up Research Ryan after he butchered one of the questions last week regarding the first roller coaster in Disney history to feature an inversion. That's crazy, Research Ryan. You got that wrong, because Brian has been on the Indiana Jones coaster over in Paris. And I remembered that was the first coaster to include an inversion, not Space Mountain in Paris. But Research Ryan, you got to do better, man. All right, here we go. Episode 136 begins with 2011's Winnie the Pooh. The character responsible for mistaking back soon with back son. Who is the pompous yet not very intelligent owl?
Our dear friend Christopher Robin has been captured. What? By a creature called the Baxon.
We're on to what month is it for the first time. Lady is given as a gift during this month in Lady and the Tramp. Lady shares this honor with the one and only Bunny Eclipse. She was given as a gift on Christmas. Therefore, the answer is December.
Merry Christmas.
Oh, Jim dear. Trimmed with ribbons?
Well, it has a ribbon.
For all you Bunny fans at home, there's a picture of Bunny the day she was given as a gift. On to motorcycles now. The reason I'm doing motorcycles is I just saw the new Tron film, and I think it's a little too early to do a category on the new movie starring Jared Leto, but I figured we'll do something light cycle, motorcycle related. So here we go. It's motorcycles for 200. The colors of the two teams competing in the Tron Legacy light cycle scene. You had 15 years to see this one. It's also the colors competing in the regular version of the Tron coaster. What are blue and orange? From one overlay to another, it's the overlay category for 200 points. Nightmare Before Christmas invades this Disneyland attraction every fall. Now that is a gimme if you're a theme park fanatic. The correct answer is Haunted Mansion. We're finishing off the cupcakes with scary scores. Listen to the music and identify which film this scary tune is from. This score lays the foundation for one of Disney's most terrifying yet often forgotten villains. That is Chernobog. Correct answer is Fantasia. The cupcakes are done, but the game has just begun. It's 2011's Winnie the Pooh now for 400. During a contest to find Eeyore a new tail, Piglet presents this item as his idea. Piglet says, "Hey Eeyore, why don't you use a balloon as a tail?" Didn't work out.
We could give balloon a try. Whoa.
How clever, Piglet. What do you think, Eeyore?
Sure is a cheerful color.
On to what month is it for the second time. Taking place during the 1980 Olympics, the film Miracle and the true story of hockey's miracle on ice occurs during this month. The game of hockey is a winter Olympic sport, which I assume most of you knew, meaning that it had to happen early in the year. The month specifically, though, was February.
2 days later, the miracle was made complete. My boys defeated Finland to win the gold medal. Coming from behind once again.
Here comes motorcycles for the second time. Name the character on the motorcycle here. That is Colette from Ratatouille.
Look, I'm no good with words. I'm no good with food either. At least not without your help.
I hate false modesty. It's just another way to lie. You have talent.
On to overlays for 400. Change one letter of the name of this attraction to get its holiday overlay. Why don't we go replace you with I? Sounds like something Gaston would say, but if you did replace the U with an I in this scenario, you would go from Jungle Cruise to the correct answer, Jingle Cruise. Here comes your second scary score of the game. That tune can be heard in The Little Mermaid. That does it for the 400-point round, and before we start the 600s, I have to say thank you so much to everybody who has rejoined the show after the 2-week break that happened earlier this month, and special shout out to everyone who sent me messages who said they've been watching since episode 1. Look, I was this old when we started. Let's go on to the 600s now. It's Winnie the Pooh again. Pooh and the squad use this to climb out of the pit they made for the Baxen. Hands down, my favorite part of 2011's Winnie the Pooh film is the integration of book pages that you see throughout the film. No more evident than here when the characters use letters from the book to climb out of the pit. Here comes what month is it for 6? According to Oaken, the events of the original Frozen take place during this month. Well, as you know, Elsa caused an eternal winter until it wasn't eternal anymore in the middle of the summer. But what month specifically? Well, Oaken tells us it was July.
Behind you.
Oh, right. Excuse me.
Oh, a real howler in July, yes?
Halfway point of the game brings us to motorcycles. In Incredibles 2, Helen gets to ride this bad boy. What is the name of the bike? That is the Elasticycle.
A new Elasticycle.
Elasticycle? I didn't know you had a bike.
Hey, I had a mohawk. There's a lot about me you don't know.
Here comes overlays for 6. Monsters After Dark is the name of a seasonal overlay for this Disneyland attraction. It will be Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout. Final clue of the 600s is another scary score. That version of Trust in Me can be heard in Disney's highest rated live-action remake. Correct answer is The Jungle Book. On to the 800-point round. It's Winnie the Pooh. The word poo mistakes for a sneeze every time Owl says it. Owl is not a chewing. No, he's just saying the word issue.
No, no, no! I'm not catching a cold. The word is issue, not at you.
Here's what month is it for 8. Based on Andy gearing up for college and a calendar hanging up in his bedroom, Toy Story 3 takes place during this month. You have to have an eagle eye in order to spot the calendar in the back, and if you do, you might notice that it says August.
Hey, now come on, guys. We all knew this day was coming.
Yeah, but now it's here.
Look, every toy goes through this. No one wants to see...
Hey, Sarge, what are you doing?
Here comes motorcycles for 800. Martin Lawrence, John Travolta, Tim Allen, and William H. Macy ride motorcycles in this 2007 film. The answer is Wild Hogs.
This spring, they may not know how to ride.
I gotta work on the fist tapping thing.
No, you gotta work on the bike riding thing.
Here comes your 4th clue from the overlay category. This band supplied the soundtrack to the very brief Rockin' Space Mountain that lived at Disneyland in 2007. Yeah, who needs Rockin' Roller Coaster when you've got Rockin' Space Mountain? I need Rockin' Roller Coaster. It was better than Rockin' Space Mountain. And also Disneyland fans, how about this, huh? This is like a Disneyland category today. Anyway, correct answer is the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Looks like we've been cleared for blastoff, and it sounds like the Red Hot Chili Peppers are on the space stage.
Here comes the final clue for the 1000s. It's another scary score. When you hear this eerie tune, you know you are just mere moments away from seeing a tragic Disney death. That death belongs to Gaston. Yes, which means the answer is Beauty and the Beast.
The mist through the woods, through the darkness and the shadows. It's a nightmare, but it's one exciting ride.
20 clues are down and 6 remain, including Final Jeopardy. If you're 0 for 20, then 0 bothers given, man. You're just having fun. So I guess if you're 0 for 20, you might not be having that much fun. You likely will go 0 for 26 because it only gets tougher from here. It is time for the most overly dramatic soundtrack infused, unnecessarily spotlighted part of the game, the 1,000-point round. Hit it! All right, the 1,000-point round means that it is time to wrap up the 2011 Winnie the Pooh category. Let's check out the final clue from it. It's worth 1,000. The songwriting duo who wrote the music for the film. They wrote some good tunes for Zooey Deschanel to sing in this movie, but they probably got a little more popular in the film world. And they wrote Let It Go and the music for Frozen. The correct answer is Robert and Kristen Anderson Lopez.
You know, we're married and we write songs together and we kind of just talk it over.
I'm the boss.
Final clue from what month is it goes like this. Despite Mardi Gras parades normally taking place in either February or March, Princess and the Frog takes place during this month, according to the cover of a newspaper in the film. I remember a few weeks back when I did the newspaper category, I showed you the screenshot from Princess and the Frog that shows the same paragraph being repeated over and over. If you look at the date on that newspaper, you see the events of Princess and the Frog unfolded in April which is strange because Mardi Gras, even back in 1926 on the Mardi Gras parade in New Orleans, was in February. So is this just a Disney mistake? Well, let me know what you think in the comments section. Here comes motorcycles for the final time. Name the film this screenshot is from. One of Disney's biggest live-action films from the early 90s. The correct answer is The Rocketeer. Here comes overlays for the final time. Operating since 1967, this famous attraction got a Tron overlay in the early 1980s that lasted over 10 years. In fact, it lasted until the ride got replaced by rocket rides. The correct answer is the People Mover.
Prepare for the game grid of Tron.
All right, here we go. Final clue on the board before the final Jeopardy wheel spin. It's Scary Scores. That tune can be heard when you're introduced to Rinsler in Tron Legacy. Yes, I said I wasn't going to include any clues from the new Tron, but Legacy, that's a whole nother story. Legacy was better. 25 clues are down and one remains. Just so happens to be the one clue of the game that will ultimately determine how proud of yourself you will be for the next 7 days. It's final Jeopardy time, which means it's time to spin that wheel. It's the final Jeopardy wheel spin. I'm going to spin this wheel, and whatever it lands on, I am handcuffed into doing in next week's episode. Let's see what it's going to be. Ooh, a Disney classic. Peter Pan wins the final Jeopardy wheel spin this week. I have already done a Peter Pan category nearly 90 episodes ago or something like that. So in this upcoming episode, I'll be doing Peter Pan quotes. If you think you know who speaks every single quote in the film Peter Pan, well then wager it all right now to prove how smart you are. All right, here we go. By the way, in next week's episode 137, I'll be including a new brief segment in the show where I give you a score on the film that won the final Jeopardy wheel spin. I figured, why not? Why not rate these movies that I'm being forced to re-watch? In this instance, it will be Peter Pan. I'm excited. Haven't seen Peter Pan in over a decade. Will I like it? Will I love it? Will I despise it? Only time will tell. Let's get back to the game, though. It's the final clue of episode 136. Can you name who says this Peter Pan quote? Insolent pup. Aha, I got you. Good luck. And time is up. You may have thought that it was Wendy's dad, George, who called their dog Nana insolent pup because he's seen early in the film yelling at Nana, which is not deserved. By the way, Nana didn't deserve that. But no, that is not the correct answer. The one who said insolent pup was John, Wendy's brother John. He said it to his brother Michael.
Back, villain! Insolent pup! Wicked pirate! Aha! I got you!
One of Nana's biggest fans is this pup. Right? You love Nana. You look up to her. She's one of your idols. Nana's a very good dog. But Bunny's even better. That will do it for episode 136 of Disney Jeopardy. Thank you so very much for watching. Club DJ members, you straight up embarrassed me last week with the poll results that saw nearly 70% of the vote going to Scary Scores. I'll try to make it a little more balanced this week as the boat category gets another opportunity. It'll need to defeat these two opponents if it wants to squeeze into episode 137 along with Peter Pan. Bunny also says thanks to everyone who went on to her shop on DisneyJeopardy.com and scooped up the I Love Small World shirt, right? That's what you're saying, right? Yeah, that's That's what she's saying. Zero Bothers Given, of course, is still on there. There's a few more weeks for the Brian's Terrible Drawings t-shirt before it's replaced with another one of my fantastic drawings. Which one will it be? You'll just have to check it out in a few weeks. Now you know the deal. If you like what you saw, do me a favor, subscribe and click that bell icon. Hello, bell. This way, you're notified every time we come out with brand new content. I've been your host, Bryan Perri. This is your producer, Bunny Eclipse. Thank you so very much for watching. I'll catch you next week for episode 137.
Bye-bye.